Hello and welcome back for another episode of Patriotic Housewife. Well, guys, we're going to go over the cease and desist that Wolves in Finance got. He did post it on his X. So let's just bring up his X post here. He says, I have seen some comments wondering if I was accurately describing Turning Point's letter because it seems so crazy. To avoid any miscommunication, I am now releasing the letter in its entirety. I think it is even worse than I described. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the documents so we can all look at this together and see what we have here, because this is honestly pretty concerning for several creators, for him especially. I can't even imagine the stress that he feels going through this. This is horrible and so unnecessary. The some of the verbiage in here is worse than we thought, and so I just figured we would go over it. So it says, first, there was no fraud at Turning Point USA, much less more fraud. Your assertion otherwise is baseless and false. Second, ATP did not and does not have ghost employees. Rather, ATP had 80 employees in FY23 and 108 in FY24. There was, however, an inadvertent error in ATP's filing, which failed to note these employees, and at ATP is in the process of rectifying that inadvertent error. But it is false to assert, as you have done on your YouTube show, that ATP has ghost employees. Third, contrary to your statement on your YouTube show, there is nothing nefarious in TPA's increased donations during an election year. Donors naturally direct more money towards election activities in election years, especially to organizations like TPA that can engage in lobbying and political activity during election years. Accordingly, you are wrong to assert that the increased donations to TPA geez, you guys, I can't even speak English today, any sort of wrongdoing on Mr. Boyer's part. December 7, 2025 episode in your December 9th YouTube video, Top 10 Clowns of the Year, you made statements about supposed discrepancies concerning the use of drones at Utah Valley University on September 10, 2025, but there was no discrepancy. UVU prohibited TPUSA from flying drones for security purposes during the event, but did allow a TPUSA media production drone to briefly fly over the location before the event to collect limited B-roll footage. In your December 14, 2025 YouTube episode, Tim Pool rants about Turning Point, you made several defamatory statements, including asking whether the money sent to 110 LLC was to bribe Jake Hoffman and asking why ATP lists its COO, Tyler Boyer, as an independent contractor. First, TPUSA contracts with 110 LLC for legitimate services. The money you ask about is being spent on marketing and advertising services. Any claim that it is a bribe is false. Second, ATP lists its COO as an independent contractor because his substantive role from ATP is more in line with the contractor classification. More generally, you have accused the TP entities of being shell companies. This too is false. The substantive descriptions and roles of each of the TP entities can easily be seen by reviewing each organization's 990. Claims that any of the TP entities is a shell company is patently false. So let's just break down a little bit of this. So many things to say. We're going to try to keep it brief because we all know what's going on. Majority of you that are watching my content have watched other people's content. We can only say the same thing 5 different ways in all reality. Okay, fine. He probably got something wrong in there, but either way, I mean, he's not wrong that there's something going on there. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't add up. And it's not like you forgot a couple employees. You forgot listing all of them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, fine, one accident, but how many accidents can you have in a tax return? And if you had a CPA doing them, probably wouldn't have this issue. Just saying, like, hopefully a licensed CPA is doing these. But if it's up to Justin Olson, who is not a CPA, this might explain all these mistakes. And this is why when you are handling millions and millions of dollars, you have one of those. Just saying, a little weird. For them to say that the Tim Pool rant about Turning Point, he's allowed to have an opinion. Opinions are like buttholes, as they say. Everyone has one. Get over it. This is his opinion of what's going on here. And the thing about defamation is you cannot get in someone's brain to prove that they knowingly knew that this information was incorrect and still shared it, knowing that they were going to cause harm or there was malicious intent, so on and so forth. So good luck with that Turning Point, okay? Good luck. It is like defamation slander lawsuits are one of the hardest to go through. Unless you have like text messages of someone saying like to a friend, hey, I knew this and I'm just going to try to ruin this person's life and I'm just going to throw it out there even though I know it's a lie. Good luck. Good luck getting in someone's brain. But I don't know. These people are really crooked. So, you never know. Maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, mind reading tool. Who the heck knows? Like I said, why won't you have a CPA there? I just it's your own fault. I don't know. And then they talked about, how he talks about Tyler Boyer. Well, I mean, it is interesting, right? I mean, at least I thought it was interesting. How do you go from being broke, but you buy a $1.95 million house and put $650,000 down? Interesting. I mean, have any of us managed to get that rich unless you win the lotto in like not even 2 years? The math doesn't math. I mean, again, these are all opinions. He never said this was for fact. Candace talked in her episode yesterday about how he did make mistakes. She reached out and said, hey, you got this wrong, and he fixed it. Things are going to be wrong in an investigation. And it all comes back to this, in my opinion. If people just did their jobs, if the feds did their jobs, if the IRS just did their jobs and been like, hey, yeah, this is interesting. What's going on with this like mailbox at the UPS store, this like really rich mailbox, then nobody would have to be doing any of this. So really, instead of being mad at us, why aren't you mad at the government who gets paid to do these things but isn't? So you have 1,000 people in their free time doing someone else's job. This all could have been solved very, very easily in the very beginning. Now we've had months and months and months and months of a bunch of bull crap, and no one's going to be believing what the heck you're putting out because we've had plenty of time, this is my opinion, allegedly, to fabricate whatever the heck we want. And now too much information has come out where it's very clear that there's a whole lot of really good friendships with high up people that can change information all they want. They can change identities. They can change numbers around. They can delete stuff from the internet. They can do anything. We all know what they can do. I don't need to keep going on that. So what do you expect from people? What did you think was going to happen? I really don't understand what they thought was going to come of all this. And in reality, it's not the people's fault. It's the government's fault, because if they just would have did the right thing to begin with, we wouldn't even be here. Just my opinion, as I said. Let's go to page 2. So it says in your December 28th video of 2025, shocking, Turning Point fraud gets worse. You recklessly repeated many of the previously described falsehoods and again directed viewers to the home address of Mr. Boyer, which has resulted in threats to Mr. Boyer's safety. You also falsely suggested Turning Point PAC sent bribes to 110 LLC when the payments were made for legitimate services. I'm happy to provide you with further information confirming what I have set forth above. While the Turning Point entities have actionable and meritorious defamation claims against you, the TP entities are not looking for litigation, but yet you're sending literally a cease and desist. I mean, what do you call that? Then why didn't you just send a certified letter from one person to another? What this is, you guys, in my opinion, this is a game of chicken. They are bluffing. This is my opinion. I dare them with every dollar I have, which isn't much, that they are not going to sue because that brings in discovery, and the discovery would be glorious. So I think this is a scare tactic to be quiet, Don't do this. We're not trying to, like, we're not looking for litigation. Ask us for what information you need to put out there, and like you can put it out there. You're too stupid to like read and comprehend and like put information out there. So just like ask us what it is, and like we'll tell you. We'll tell you what the narrative is, Don't worry, we got you. Additionally, please contact me before you publish anything more about any of the TP entities or their finances. I can provide you with accurate information to answer any legitimate questions you may have. Otherwise, you will be acting recklessly and maliciously if you go ahead and publish further unsupported assertions about TP entities without giving me the opportunity to provide you with the truth in advance, aka your narrative. So are you saying that even though he's an accountant, he's too stupid to interpret tax documents? That's kind of like what it sounds like. It sounds like we're peasants and like you're smart, we're stupid, and we need you to interpret something for us and puppet us. That's crazy. And no one believes that you provide accurate information, by the way, because you guys have literally proven to the public from video to video to video, openly lying. So again, and we had Mr. Mikey who had blood all over him, who like didn't have blood all over him, who would not provide phone records, would not show his phone. But then months later, Erica shows up, boom, in person with alleged phone records that we've had months to doctor if we really wanted to. Alleged. This is my opinion. I'm sorry. If you really had stuff, if someone told me I murdered my friend or I had something to do with murdering my friend and it came down to my phone records, I would have given that up so fast you guys wouldn't have even believed how fast it would have gotten out there. Okay? So nothing you really provide at this point, anyone's believing because you guys are literally known liars. We've watched it. We've heard it. So what makes this any different? Oh, I wouldn't lie about this like one thing though. No, I'm sorry. The CEO's lying left and right. She can't tell the truth if her life depended on it. Don't know what to say. My opinion. Again, my opinion. The TP entities expressed reserve all rights. In addition, please preserve all evidence potentially relevant to your false statements and take affirmative steps to ensure that no potentially relevant documents, data, communications, or evidence, whether physical or electronic, are deleted, lost, or destroyed. This preservation obligation extends to data on personal cell phones and tablets and encompasses paper documents, presentations, spreadsheets, emails from all the email accounts, both personal and business, calendar and contract information, electronic chat messages, text messages, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, iMessage, WeChat, etc. Any form of digital communications and documents and shared drives. I have a joke about that. Well, do you remember when Miss Erica said she has Charlie's phone and she's already looked at all the messages? Like she didn't know her husband used WhatsApp and Signal and Telegram. But they sure put out all the apps in this cease and desist, didn't they, man? She knows about those apps now. They be talking through them on all these. Sorry, guys. I'm getting worked up because this is honestly hilarious. And if these are false statements, prove to us that they're false statements. You guys wanted to be in the public realm. You wanted to be a public figure. It's very clear that y'all love attention because you guys can't stop talking, can't stop doing interviews, can't stop responding. Again, we have Colvette on Paramount Tactical yesterday, talking about, oh, well, this or that. And, I don't know. You think Gary would have taken a dang break from the internet because he's been like TPUSA's like biggest like thorn basically. And he has done nothing but favors for the rest of us. He is really doing the Lord's work by messing up as much as he is. And if I was his wife, I would have unplugged the internet by now. That's just me. Again, my opinion. Gary, if you're watching this, sorry. I would have taken a break from the internet, but I also wouldn't have been caught up in all that either. Just saying, stick to what your specialty is, ballistics, guns, whatever. You went too far, dude. I don't know what to say. So I don't know. I'm just saying that proof to us it's false. Again, probably not going to believe you, but if you're going to say that someone is out here spreading false information, then you need to prove that it's false information. And honestly, like, why didn't Candace get this paperwork? Why did Ian Carroll not get a cease and desist? I know Ian said, oh, well, I don't even have like a address or whatever on file. So maybe he just hasn't got one because he doesn't have one yet. Or have one listed rather. But we'll see who gets one. I mean, they have time to get them out to people. I also think that that date that was dated, I think the 8th, right? Like, let's look at it. I'm pretty sure it was the 8th. So my thing is, we don't know who's going to get one. It was typed up on the 8th, but was it sent? What day was it sent? He posted this on the 19th. And then he did his video on the 18th, I think. So, people, there's still time for people to get them. But I'm just curious who's going to get them. Like, why didn't they send one to Candace? Because Candace has been talking. Like I said, Ian Carroll. I mean, there's 1,000. Project Constitution, there's 1,000 people who have been talking about this case, that have large followings and are investigating this. Why was it just him? He's not even the only person who we've seen on the internet do an audit and do extensive discussions over the money not making sense. So, and also, I forgot to address this. He blacked out Tyler Boyer's address and clearly stated that if you want to go look up that information on your own, it's the internet, it's whatever. He can't stop that. But he never said to go harass him. Again, you're a public figure on the internet. That kind of stuff happens if you don't pay to have it taken down. And he put that information on the tax forms. So, and the 990 forms are available to the public. So it's not his fault. And he's always said, like, leave people alone. Like, So I think that's so interesting, saying, oh, well, Tyler Boyer is being threatened. And I'm sure he's like shaking in his boots, like Mr. Tyler Boyer, who's literally actively running around bragging about the operation he runs over there. Anywho, I said I was going to make this quick and it turned into like a 17-minute, ordeal with a little rant. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the actual documents that Wolves posted. I do think it was worse than what he was talking about in his video. And we'll just see what comes of this. We'll see how many other people end up with them. I don't know if it's just the financials that got them going, or if that's, there's other things that they're going to be chasing down and they're just like catching up or what. But yeah, it kind of reminds me, like, okay, so you can't talk about TPUSA. Kind of goes along with the small country that we can't talk about either, right? It's giving those vibes, and then it makes you wonder what's going on there. We could talk about each other. We could talk bad about anybody else, but we just don't look over here. Just don't talk about right here. I mean, guys, you guys are literally your own PR nightmare. As Erica Kirk would say, just stop. Just stop. That's it. Just stop. Get off the internet, guys. Stay away from the internet. Anyway, please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully you guys got a good laugh, and I will see you guys all in the next one.